Welcome back. I have the CEO of Neo Econometrica. Yes, he is here to talk about the African Continental Free Trade Area. Yes, a single market for all of Africa. On the African continent, you have over 34 countries, indeed, that have ratified this agreement to allow movement of goods and commodities in a single market on the African continent. But then how come few people are talking about the Africa Continental Free Trade Area? How different or how similar is it to the ASEAN, China free trade area, and how will East Africa actually benefit from all this, or Africans as a whole? I do have Francis Muhire. Yes, he's a lecturer at MOOBS and also the CEO of Neo Econometrica. Very good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Romeo.
Indeed. We are going to talk about a lot. The African Continental Free Trade Area, Kenya banning our maize. Why is that, and what kind of threats does it offer to the East Africa community integration? But let's start with the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. What is it? Few people know about it.
Thank you, Romeo. Good morning, dear viewers out there. African Continental Free Trade Area is something that actually every African should be celebrating today. I really find it weird that actually most of the people are not aware of it, and people did not, celebrate on 1st January this year when actually it came into effective.
But we started talking, I think, on the 21st of March.
Yes,
2018.
Yes, that's when actually we signed the agreement. That was in Kigali.
Indeed.
But the negotiation started way back in 2015. So this is a great step, and if you remember, when you look back into history, that was post-independence. You had Nkwama Nkrumah, you had Julius Nyerere, who already had the vision that Africa to work, it has to work as one market. So African Continental Free Trade Area comes with, you have 1.3 billion people. That is a very big market.
Indeed.
And this actually comes with an economy of GDP that is of 3.4 trillion US dollars. So this is really huge, and it actually makes Acfta as the largest single economic bloc. That is by participating countries. You have around 54 countries who are into this, except Eritrea, which hasn't signed. And as we've said,
so 54 out of the 55 countries have actually signed the agreement.
already signed.
So how many have ratified?
That's about 34 countries. Only that we needed 22 countries for the agreement to be signed. So we are already doing well. So
it came into force January 1st, 2021. What does that mean now?
It was supposed to be actually coming in July 2020, but because of the pandemic, it had to be pushed to 1st January.
So what does that mean?
So this means huge for every African. That's why I'm saying that actually people should be celebrating, because this comes with a lot of benefits. One, you're going to see an increment in intra-trade between African countries, because so far African countries have not been trading among themselves. In fact, we have the lowest rate of intra-trade, that is at 16%, compared to European Union, which is about 70%, and the Asian, which is about 51%.
Yes.
So one of the objectives is actually to increase the intra-trade among the African member states from 16 to at least 60. Then the other benefit is that we believe that actually this Acfta is going to get actually over 30 to 40 million people from extreme poverty, because you're talking about economic opportunities in terms of job employment, and not forgetting that actually Africa has the youngest population in the whole world.
Indeed.
So, but the other benefit is that it is going to attract more of foreign direct investments.
But before we talk about the foreign and the direct investments, you talked about Africa having the youngest population, meaning we have a huge market that is just waiting to be tapped into. But then if the clients or the potential customers are grappling with unemployment, lack of capital and so forth, if this single market is there, but then the clients that should have participated are broke to actually engage in business, what does that mean? And how should we help them, the young people?
That's actually a very good question. Africa, looking at Uganda, we have the same problem here of youth unemployment, and the same thing in other African member states.
Even here, Republic of Congo, yes.
All over the continent, we have that problem of youth unemployment. Now, this is it's absurd that actually, our governments have done very little to solve this issue. Because, for example, if you look at, let's say, Uganda Vision 2040 or African Agenda 2063, this is about improvement in economic, or increasing in income of the households. But the challenge is that if you don't use this young population, if you don't make it productive, then you're not going to benefit from this
from the single
demographic
market
transition.
because they will not participate.
Yes.
Because I was also looking at some of the objectives of the African Continental Free Trade Area. There was agricultural development and so forth. Yes, food security was a major issue. We are dealing with climate change. If you have the biggest population of young people within Africa being young people, how best can you tap into their skill set so that they could actually join agriculture? Uganda, East Africa could be a food basket for the region and the whole of Africa.
Thank you. So as I've said, to make this, to make the best out of this young population, we have to make it productive. And one way of making it productive is actually investing into agriculture. You know, agriculture is one of that least sector. It has been neglected. Look at Uganda. Every day the government, officials are saying that agriculture is the backbone of this country. But look at our national budget. Look at the resources allocated there. It's one of the least, funded.
Maputo
So,
Declaration not being honored.
exactly. So for this young population to be productive and even benefit from this free trade area, the youth they have to be empowered.
And to also do away with food insecurity.
Exactly, exactly. Because,
all right.
Yes, thank you.
Francis Muhira, let's talk about the challenges that might plague the African Continental Free Trade area, hence rendering it redundant.
Thank you. While we should celebrate for this, there are challenges, a lot of challenges that had was ahead. Because when you look even at European Union, it took them about 50 years for them to reach where they are. So, and one of the major issues we have in Africa, or what we should worry about to make this work, one, we have a problem of poor infrastructure. I mean, if I have goods in Uganda and now I want, let's say, to sell them in Senegal, we don't have any, railway line or, road transport that will connect me here. And yet here we are talking about having one single market.
So it would be expensive in that way to transport.
Exactly. You will find that you have to use air, which is, air transport, which is expensive. So you need railway transport, that network in terms of transportation. Yes. Then the other challenge, of course, is security. We have, security issues. We have issues in Somalia, Central African Republic of Congo, DRC itself. So you go and find that there are some countries which are politically, unstable.
Unviable to do business with.
Yes, exactly. Yes. So all these, are challenges. And then the other issue is that Africans will have this tendency of always waiting for answers from abroad or from external sources. And that's why
I saw that during the pandemic.
Exactly. When you look at the Secretariat, most of the member states actually don't live to their commitment. They don't pay membership in time. And, that's a big challenge. This Secretariat has to be, funded in time.
East African community integration has largely failed because of what we are seeing. Kenya withholding a ban actually on Uganda to actually export maize to their country. You also have, we have situations with the Rwandese. Lawyers in Uganda cannot go and do work in Kenya. If you look at the faltering EAC integration, what makes you so sure that this single market could be a success if even just the EAC community integration has been a problem?
Yes, that is another big challenge because, for example, when you look at the issue between Uganda and Rwanda, I'm not going to go into deep, but it's more it's more of political.
Indeed.
And when you look at the stage of where we are at the common market, so we are not yet into the political part. So that is beyond the economic, issues. So I will not look at it. But for the case of Kenya, Kenya coming up and banning our maize because of aflatoxins, I think this is the government should be held accountable because there is a report.
Our government.
Yes, our government should be held accountable because in 2016 there is a report which came out. They tested over 548 food samples, and all of them, they found them to be having those traces of aflatoxins.
So this is not a new problem. It's been here.
Yeah,
it's
this
been
is not a new problem. That Uganda
quality assurance
got to know that our food is not good quality, and we kept on importing it to Kenya. I mean exporting it to Kenya until actually Kenya got to say no, this is not good. But the other question is, if this food is, having aflatoxins that has been banned from Kenya, who is consuming it? Ugandans are consuming it.
That was the biggest story now, that we are not exporting the maize and we're feeding it to our population.
Yeah, we are
because they want to make losses.
It's what we are consuming, and no one should actually consume such a kind of
all the dealer has to do is say, okay, the move to ban maize from Uganda was political, please have the food, and people will be dying because of poisoning.
Yeah, so, but then the other thing we have to notice that, in this game of economics, everyone would like to have that big share of the market. So
of course, they are now registering the traders who are dealing in this maize. Do you think this will go a long way in alleviating the challenges we are seeing now that we may know that Chagulanyi is the one selling the maize with aflatoxins, or Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, or Norbert Mao? Do you think that registration of the traders will go a long way in alleviating the problem?
Well, that would be a solution in the short run, but also depend on how it is going to be done. If it is not to, to bar a lot of people from, or a lot of traders from, getting into this business, the whole solution should start from the main producer, because the way scientists have said, these aflatoxins come in during harvesting and, post-harvesting and storage. So the solution has to be solved right away from the source. Not because remember, these are simply traders, but these produce are first, kept and maintained by these, the first producers.
Of course, I'm sure you remember where the conversation came from. It came from EAC having its own problems with the integration, but then how will the single market be able to work?
So it will work because, as I've said, there are very many challenges, and one of the challenges that, for example, right now we have very many economic blocs. So you have SADC, you have East African Community, you have COMESA. So you find member countries with multiple, memberships. These have not worked. Why? Because of these challenges. One, you have lack of commitment by member states. Still African countries want to operate as individual countries, which is not going to work. So for it to work, they have to be committed. Whatever they signed in the agreement, they have to make it work.
What about the global economic forces? Have they played a part in frustrating the African Continental Free Trade Area?
Well, they have a part to play. They have a part to play, but there is no evidence. However, Africa should not blame anyone, because remember, we are in a capitalism, kind of economy.
Because if Africa is united, Chinese will not be able to do business.
Well, they won't be able to do business, but at the same time, actually Chinese should embrace this, because now they are going to be dealing with a single bloc, not individual countries. So that's why actually I said that one of the benefits is foreign direct investments, which are going to be brought in.
Go ahead.
By these, let's say, China. You have US, you have European Union. Now they're going to be dealing with a single market, not dealing with individual countries. Yes.
All right, let's wrap up on the benefits of the Africa Continental Area. Your last words to the business entities who are watching NTV right now.
Yes. My appeal to all Ugandans or people into business is that this is a big opportunity, and we should position ourselves in a way that we are going to be producers, not consumers. Because, for example, when you look at Africa, you have South Africa, you have Egypt. These are developed economies. If you allow them to bring their goods here, then you're going to see Namanve closing in one day. Therefore, our entrepreneurs, manufacturers or producers in this country and in other countries, we have to position ourselves very well so that we can be able to compete those highly developed economies like Egypt and South Africa already there. And
of course, the political leaders should also push for the integration of EAC, which will be pivotal in helping connect the business people within East Africa to the rest of the African single market. Thank you very much, Francis Muhire.
It's always a pleasure.
Indeed. He's a lecturer at MOOBS and also the CEO of Neo Econometrica. Well,